Let me start from the start. So on my gaming YouTube channel, I uploaded a playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2, and my reaction to that video game hit some people in the part of their soul that caused this mass outpouring of like toxicity and like telling me that I should die and calling me a psychopath and calling me a sociopath and calling me all these names. That's where this kind of stemmed from. Since then, I've gotten over it. I have a bitter place in my heart for that situation and always will, and I will take these feelings to my grave with me. But I thought it would be fun because it's something that's interesting to me. The human mind and psychology and stuff is always something that's interested me. So I went and found a few quizzes on sociopathy and psychopathy. So I thought we can do them together. And it would be really fun. And I thought it would be a fun experiment to see what the internet tells me about my psychopathic and sociopathic tendencies. Hi, Leave. I'm doing great. So we're going to do some of these quizzes since our video game is broken and we can't play it right now. So I found these ones. We found this psychopathy test by Psych Central research team. Instructions. This quiz is designed to help give you some idea about whether or not you may be a psychopath or sociopath or have psychopathic tendencies. This quiz is not meant to diagnose psychopathy. Disclaimer, that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to like diagnose anybody or anything like that. This is like no shade on mental illness or anything. I'm purely just interested in, based on those comments, for entertainment purposes. Based on the comments that I got previously, I was just curious about doing a little bit more of like a self-reflection and self-evaluation in regards to these types of things. So if you wanna follow along and do it as well, please feel free. I will put the links to the quizzes in chat and in the YouTube description where this video will inevitably end up. Because funsies, there's a few different ones. The first one is this one, Psych Central. This quiz is not meant to diagnose psychopathy or tell you definitively whether or not you are a psychopath, but it will give you a pretty good idea based upon the research. For each item, indicate how you agree or disagree with the statement. Take your time and answer truthfully for the most accurate results. So I'm going to, based on my internal monologues, whether or not they are intentional, including my subconscious thoughts and how I attempt inwardly to correct how I think about certain situations and stuff like that. I may answer some things that may appear surprising to you guys or to anyone who's watching on YouTube. That's fine. I just want to be, because there are some things about how I want to react to certain things sometimes that I know that there's a better option and I don't want to be doing that. So, you know, you can be someone who has these tendencies, but you try your best to cope with that stuff in a more empathetic and compassionate way. That's what I would like to encourage. If we find like this isn't supposed to be hurting our feelings and feeling depressed about the results. I just want to learn more about myself and learn more about how to cope with those kinds of tendencies and stuff like that. So, I am a 32-year-old lady. Let's go. Let's do it. Most would describe me as charming and nonchalant. I can turn my charm on and off like a faucet. I feel like this describes me somewhat because I feel like some people do describe me this way. However, this is not the case for me at all. I don't feel like I can just be charming and then like not be charming. False. I'm charming all the time. I do what I want when I want, the moment the impulse strikes me, regardless of what others want. No. I am trying to get better at doing that from the flip side, though. So, like, I used to do what other people want when other people want it, the moment that other people want me to do that, regardless of how I feel. It was like the flip side. So I'm kind of like in the middle here. I'm trying to do more of this. I'm trying to put myself first more. So not me, but actually kind of want to. Carrie is always charming because that's who she is. Oh, no. If something goes wrong or turns out badly, it's not my fault. I mean, somewhat, because sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. I'm pretty, I don't know. I guess I am charming all the time. I've gotten into legal or criminal trouble as an adult, not just speeding or parking ticket. No. Does a DUI count? No. That would probably be under speeding or parking ticket, wouldn't it? This is probably like a fucking felony or some shit. So I don't think so. Hey, Dark! I am easily the best at what I do, bar none. Nobody could ever take my place. Nope. This is very not me. Very not me. I do whatever I feel like doing, and I don't care what others think, or even if it's illegal. That's very not me at all. I care what others think so much that I have to force myself to not worry about what they think. I've proven that to myself the past few years. Every person for themselves. I don't see the point in feeling sorry for other people and have no desire to help others. See, this is one of the questions where I feel like this has always been my natural tendency, but I also objectively see the value and the necessity for being compassionate and empathetic towards other people. So, like, this is the type of thing I'm talking about where my natural inclination would be like, well, we all have to look after ourselves and like I can't help you with everything and like me feeling sorry for you doesn't change anything. But at the same time, I understand the importance and the necessity for that stuff. That's why for a question like this, I wouldn't so much know how to answer. I mean, I guess no desire means that I don't also have that part of me that reacts to my natural inclination about it. So maybe just somewhat. I think somewhat. Hey, Bart. Thank you. Have a good sleep. Well, that's the thing, Bob. I don't want to, but I will. I don't want to, but I will. That's how that goes. I can't be everything for you. I guess so. I've gotten into legal or criminal trouble when I was a teenager. No, I have not. I have no problem or concern in lying in order to get what I want. I have every problem with that. I feel like sometimes you have to do it anyway because that's the nature of this industry, and most people will actually become more successful and get ahead because of that trait, because they have the trait of having no problem with that and not giving a shit about that, and therefore they can just get whatever they want. But I have every problem with that. It doesn't mean I won't do it because I feel like I have to in order to be able to keep up with other people. But I definitely have issues with it. Live in the moment is what I say. The future will take care of itself, and learning from your past is pointless. See, this is like, it's not black or white, so I feel like somewhat. It's like I half agree, but I also half don't. Like, I'm all for living in the moment and the future will take care of itself, but also you definitely should learn from your past in order to live in the moment in a better place. So somewhat. I never feel remorse, shame, or guilt about something I've said or done. We all know that ain't me. We all know that is not me. I feel guilt over shit that isn't even my fucking fault. I feel shame or guilt about shit that isn't even my fucking fault for days. For days. I'll be like, could I have said this better? Could I? Like, I stand up for myself in a certain situation, and I'll spend days feeling guilty and ashamed that I didn't, that I actually fucking did that. That's so funny. I don't see the point in taking on responsibilities of any kind. They just weigh you down. Responsibilities of any kind. I mean, I guess I think this question is in some ways similar to like this one, every person for themselves, and like I feel like it's similar to that stuff. Like my natural inclination would just be like, I just want to do my thing so I can get shit done. But then I also feel obliged to fulfill other responsibilities because of society's expectations and stuff like that. So I guess the difference would be if you say this is definitely me, then you don't care about any of like the expectations, the obligatory part of everything. You just do whatever the fuck you want anyway, right? Okay. We've done it. Are you ready? I scored 5. No psychopathy. You answered this quiz consistent with people who would not generally be considered a psychopath by research methods currently used to quickly screen for psychopathy in the population. Common myth. While many people believe that psychopathy is more prevalent among CEOs and Wall Street bankers, this is a myth not supported by any research. While on the surface, it may seem that many of the symptoms and traits of psychopathy might lend themselves into positions of great power, the two are not synonymous. One of the problems is that psychopaths tend to be pretty quickly outed for their antisocial behaviors because the charm is purely superficial and easily detected over time with greater exposure to the psychopath. Interesting. Congratulations for not being a psychopath today. Wow, you didn't have to do that. I feel like this is counterproductive. But thanks. Scoring. You may have 18 and up strong psychopathic tendencies, 13 to 17 moderate to minor psychopathic tendencies, little to no psychopathic tendency. Well, cool. That feels kind of good. You take on so many responsibilities. Do I? See, like, that's the thing, right? It's like how you view yourself doing it. It is the today bit of the statement that is worrisome. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Not be a psychopath today. Okay, so the next one. Some of these are like just for fun, random fucking things, and some of the other ones are like actual, like this website is probably a more reputable one. But as I said, funsies, okay? All right. So, Mirror, despite what many of us think, sociopaths and psychopaths are not the same. Whilst their behaviours can be similar, there are several distinct traits that they each have that makes it easier for medical professionals to make a diagnosis. For example, sociopaths sometimes have a conscience, while psychopaths do not. Some other traits associated with being a psychopath or sociopath include being impulsive, charming, or ambitious. To be officially diagnosed, these individual traits have to be wildly exaggerated to the point where they become undeniably harmful. But there's no doubt that we all have personality traits that tip more towards the behaviours of a sociopath or psychopath sometimes, albeit on a much smaller, less harmful scale. Below we have a quiz that will test whether your personality traits are more in line with a sociopath or psychopath. Answer each question and we'll let you know which one you're closer to. Cool. You got 0, Rocker? Oh my God. Rocker is a fucking superstar. Look at you. I'm only a psychopath on Monday and Tuesday and every third Thursday. Actual psychopaths wouldn't even take that test because they wouldn't care. Yeah, you're right. That's what I was thinking too when I was reading it. I'm afraid to take it. Don't be afraid to. It just, as I said before, the only reason I'm doing this is because I want to be more informed of, like, it's a self-exploration thing. I want to be more informed of what my tendencies are so that I can find strategies and coping mechanisms for, like, counteracting any negative behaviors I have. So that's why I'm doing it. If you don't want to do it, that's totally fine. Like, don't. But, you know, I understand. I'm here for you, though, if you choose to. So, and this is just for fun. So don't take it personally as well. And if you're not ready to do something like this, then definitely don't. Just watch me do it for the funsies. I'm not sure I trust this mirror test. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm curious to see what this is. Wait, what? What is this shit? How do you even know how to answer that? You're walking across a bridge above a shark-infested waters when suddenly it collapses. A stranger almost falls, but you grab them by the hand. As you both dangle, you realize that the extra weight is causing you to slip. What do? I don't know, because there's no way for me to answer this. This test is fucking shit. Slideshow test. You can't even move forwards and backwards. Okay, so fuck this one. What? I think it's broken. Okay, fuck that. All right, here we go. Sociopath test. Do I have antisocial personality disorder? So this one's from Psychom. Commonly referred to as sociopathy. Let me move it over here. Do this. There we go. This is like Heroes. If your DPS is being stupid and inting, you can't save them or you'll both die. Then you can't get to the objective. Yes. Just drop them in. Yeah, you got to help yourself, bro. Oh, so funny. Okay. Below is a list of questions that relate to life experiences common among people diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, a mental health condition categorized by a persistent disregard for the feelings of others and lack of empathy. Please read each question carefully and indicate whether you have experienced these thoughts or behaviors since the age of 15. Fuck, I don't remember that far back. Ugh. Quiz questions are derived using the DSM-5 criteria for personality disorders established by the American Psychiatric Association in 2012 and reviewed by a licensed clinical social worker. This quiz and the results are not a substitute for a formal diagnosis. Only a licensed mental health professional or doctor can provide a formal diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder. Your privacy is important to us. All results are completely anonymous. I understand this quiz is meant for an educational tool and is no substitute for formal diagnosis. Only a licensed mental health professional or doctor can provide a formal diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder. Do you repeatedly lie or trick others for your own gain or pleasure? That's a really... Because, I mean, as I said, the nature of my work dictates that I kind of have to sometimes, but I fucking hate it. Do you act impulsively? No. I don't think I've acted impulsively for a very long time. And if I have, it's at someone else's behest. I'm like a super planny person. I'll come out soon. Yes. Do you fail to plan ahead? Never. Never. Have y'all seen my Asana? Have y'all seen my Asana? Have y'all seen it? God. Do you consistently fail to fulfill work obligations? Never. I feel like the way that this is worded means that if you sometimes accidentally, for reasons out of your control, fail to fulfill work obligations, that doesn't count. That's a never, because it's not a consistent failing. So that's a never, because, yeah, no, I would feel so horrendously guilty and horrible if I didn't fulfill anything that was expected of me. I would fucking die. I would die. Do you consistently fail to fulfill financial obligations? I mean, rarely in the same way that everyone else does who's in my position, I guess. It's not like I frivolously overspend and then can't repay stuff and whatever. It's just, yeah. I don't think, yeah. Have you ever engaged in criminal behaviour? Yes, let me own up to this live on stream. No, that's a no. I haven't. I haven't. See, the thing is, like, if I have, I could totally answer this question. I just don't need to tell y'all what it was, but I haven't. Do you find yourself unable to empathize with others dealing with difficult situations? Rarely. Rarely, sometimes. Rarely, sometimes. I feel like it might be closer to sometimes based on my life experiences, because I'm a very sheltered person and I feel like people with a more broad range of life experiences find it easier to empathize and relate to other people who are going through similar experiences. And I find myself empathizing more with like media, like movies and shit, than with like people, you know. You empathize with everything you see on Twitter, so it's really, oh. See, how I see myself is completely different to this shit. Because also the thing is, right, because the way that I'm overthinking it is like, yes, I empathize with everything because I know that I'm expected to empathize with everything as well. Like, I do have that thought in my head of like, oh, this poor person, I guess. Yeah. I guess. Why is this so hard? If you hurt someone's feelings, do you lack remorse or guilt? Never. Fuck, never. God, I die. I die every time, even if I don't like them. It's just a shit situation, so shitty. with media, you're given context and backstory you might not be given from a person. Yeah, true. Are you aggressive? Rarely. That's super rare, I think. You're doing it again. The overthinking thing. Fuck. Do you engage in unnecessary risk-taking or dangerous behavior with no regard for the safety or health of others? No, never. I live in my house. I'm never leaving. It's not safe outside. I'm not an anti-masker, so that's a never. Do you consider yourself superior to others? Sometimes because of this. I feel like you just okay, listen. Can we just take this question in the context of 2020, right? And the people who we see around us. Like, I can't see a world where I don't see myself superior to people who genuinely believe the Confederate flag is something funny to wave around, or that people genuinely think that their personal comfort in wearing or not wearing a mask outweighs everything else. So yes, that has to be a sometimes. But there are definitely so many like of my peers who I respect who there is no way that like I'm at least equal with people who I have like similar belief systems, that I share similar belief systems with. So do you use charm or wit to manipulate others for your own benefit? Well, I am a streamer on Twitch, so in that context, it would be always. Right. And I'm thinking the behavior of Kerry real life versus character's behavior when Kerry plays video games, because some games Kerry plays aggro or risky. Well, that's the thing, Deus, right? So that's a very good point. Let's rewind a little bit to all of the comments that were made on that particular game playthrough, because I admitted that it was a very unempathetic playthrough, and it was a very, like, there were a lot of things in the game that I thought was a joke, because I could not in any way relate to what was going on a lot of the time, and I was getting a little bit bored and I was getting impatient and all those kinds of things. So yes, I was incredibly aggressive. Like, watch me play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's a fucking video game. I'm going to murder everyone in there I can. But in real life, I would cross the street if I see someone else coming the same way, because I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable because we're sharing a fucking footpath. Like, come on, man. You can't judge people on how they play a video game unless they, like, have legitimate fucking rage issues where they throw their controllers through windows and shit. Like, that's such a good point, Days. That's such a good point. Like, me in a video game, like, sometimes I do really, really passive playthroughs where I would be like in the never category even when playing video games. But I made a specific choice with Assassin's Creed when we're playing, if you remember. I made a specific choice just for the funsies that we were going to do a savage playthrough where we murder as many people as possible and we try to sleep with as many people as possible. Those were my two things. You see, Rocker remembers, Rocker knows. So, yeah, but we're talking about real life stuff here. That's what we're talking about. Okay. Do you use charm or wit to manipulate others for your own benefit? Rarely. I feel like people get put in positions where they have to do that. And I think maybe I used to do that a lot more because it was expected. Because other people did it so much that it was like an expectation kind of thing. But I hated it. I hate that shit. I hate it so much when people like sweet talk to get their way and stuff. So, That's a rarely. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to. Put the ticks to prove you're human. I don't want to put my email in. Please let me do it without it. Okay, here we go. Your score, little to no. Low indication of antisocial personality disorder. Yeah! Your answers suggest little to no indication that the pattern of behavior you described is consistent with people who have been diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. A person must be at least 18 years old or receive a diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder. A diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder will also not be given if the behaviors are due to the symptoms of schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. Oh, that's interesting, but it makes sense. This quiz is not a substitute for a proper diagnosis of a healthcare professional. If you think you may be suffering from antisocial personality disorder, we encourage you to schedule an appointment with your doctor or mental health professional. By the way, if you do need those services, there is a Discord channel. We have a channel in the Discord. Let me jump over here real quick because I've got to find it for you guys and I'll share it in the chat because one of our lovely humans in the chat also used this service recently and said it was very, very helpful. So let me share that with you guys. Mental health and fitness. Here we go. Psychology Today. Psychology Today is the website. So I'll try to remember to put that in the description of the video on YouTube as well for anyone who needs it. They basically have a whole like search engine for therapists and stuff. If you need that, I highly encourage you to do that. But yeah, that was actually really fun and interesting. And I'm kind of surprised because when you hear, and I guess it goes to show the difference between what you see, like what your first impression is of someone and what you see online versus who they actually are in real life. Yeah, I don't know. And like when you go through a period with so many people telling you the same thing, it honestly makes you believe it. Like I felt like I was like owning up to being a psychopath or a sociopath. I was just like, who knows? I probably am. I don't know. Haven't been diagnosed, but if you guys say I am, I guess I am. Like, that's so shitty, dude. Stop being mean to people. Holy crap. Y'all suck. Yeah, anyway, that's it. That was fun. That's what I wanted to do today. It was one of the fun things. I want to do more fun stuff like this in future, but that was like the first one that I wanted to do. So let me know if you like this kind of thing. We can do like more random quizzes and like, I think that would be really fun. I also wanted to do a video of like, because I haven't been on TikTok for like 5 months, whenever the last time was that I posted a TikTok. I haven't been on there. So I wanted to do a video of seeing what was in my For You page for the first time in 6 months of like going back on TikTok. So I'll probably do that eventually when I can work out where my other capture card is. But yeah, thanks for coming. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much.